I think the United Methodist Church is fairly unique in that we have the Circle of Care here. There are a lot of denominations that just don't have anything like this. God has provided through the Circle of Care an opportunity for all United Methodists to participate in one of God's strongest desires, and that is that we help widows and orphans and children that are in need and have absolutely no ability to help themselves.
For a century, the Oklahoma United Methodist Circle of Care has provided advocacy and support for children in need. What began in 1917 as the Oklahoma Methodist Orphanage in Oklahoma City has evolved into multiple programs and locations with a statewide reach. Each year, Circle of Care helps hundreds of children and young adults, whether they need a safe, loving home or assistance in preparing for adulthood. For those that have been helped by Circle of Care programs, their lives have been dramatically altered.
I was at a dead end. I had hit rock bottom because of the things I was doing at that age. I was bringing a lot of the violence to my home. I realized that it wasn't a game, that somebody could lose their life, I could lose my life. And I decided that, I need to do something. My mom, through her job working with working with children and with the Board of Education here in Oklahoma City, found out about the Methodist Boys Ranch and gave me that as an option. That was my only way out, and I took it, and what that did was it took me out of that environment. With the United Methodist Boys Ranch, I was able to, and the staff that was there, I was able to realize that I could forgive myself, get that weight off my shoulders that God had forgiven me. And that's what the Boys Ranch did for me, was it saved my life.
Circle of Care has the motto of understanding that lives matter. And so to be a young individual and not have that empowerment and not have that encouragement from other people in your life, but to receive it from a complete stranger, gives you more love than you can absolutely imagine.
As we celebrate our centennial, Circle of Care is preparing to address one of the greatest needs facing foster children in Oklahoma. With approximately 10,000 children in state care, there are few placement options for sibling groups. A sibling group of 3 only has a 65% chance of being placed together. For sibling groups of 4 or more, those percentages drop dramatically. For those that have experienced separation from their siblings through foster care, the impact is substantial.
My brother and I were both there, but just shortly after we moved there, I moved from that little boys' dormitory to the big boys' dormitory. So we were housed, they're next door to each other, but we were housed in separate dorms, and I was over here with one set of kids, he's over here with another set of kids. It totally changed that relationship that we had in a family setting to an institutional setting. And that's one of the things, being on the board now, one of our issues is splitting of siblings. It impacted me back then to a certain degree, but it would be even more so now because of the way the system operates. You don't have a big campus with 120 kids on it. You have foster care, and so these siblings are going to be in totally separate homes.
That's probably the biggest thing that I'm thinking about when I'm happy to know that and be a part of and help with the Circle of Care, trying to raise the money to establish the foster homes where the siblings can actually be raised together, because that was the biggest minus of the whole experience. I didn't really have a good relationship with my sisters and grew up in a rather distant relationship.
We believe the church, the community, and Circle of Care working together can meet the needs of large sibling groups in key communities identified by the Oklahoma Department of Human Services. Circle of Care is embarking on a $5 million capital campaign, with the goal ensuring our sustainability for the coming years and providing options so that sibling groups coming into care in Oklahoma may be placed together.
They've learned to depend on each other. Most of the time their parents aren't around, they're neglected, their parents are off doing whatever they're doing to get them removed from the home. So the older siblings have been the parent for the younger siblings, and they have relied on each other to learn how to take care of each other and depend on each other. So when you separate them, it makes it really hard on them. And when they do get to see each other for a sibling visit, it's really traumatic then when they have to leave, because it's almost like you're tearing their parent away from them.
$3 million will provide for 5 small foster care communities. These homes will be built in various parts of the state to support the expansion of services to underserved areas. Each community will feature a clubhouse for trainings and events, and in total, 8 new custom furnished foster homes will be constructed. These foster care communities will provide a loving home for sibling groups in foster care and a much-needed support network for volunteer foster parents. With your help, Circle of Care, and our faith communities, we can meet the needs of Oklahoma's children. We can build, staff, and support these Christian homes so that no brothers and sisters facing the trials of foster care need face it alone.
We're talking about kids, and it's the same problem, whether it's 1960 or 2016. A kid needs a place to stay, and Circle of Care helps provide a solution for that.
I can honestly say that I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for Circle of Care. They showed me that I matter, that my life matters, that I don't have to settle for nothing, that I can go out and I can get an education, that if I want to do something bigger than I think I can do it.
A lot of these kids don't have anybody. In these programs, the Circle of Care gives them the opportunity to succeed.
I think with Circle of Care, with this campaign they're doing to build these homes, is a great way to help these children. Not just to help sibling groups stay together, but there's just such a shortage of foster homes in general.
It's very difficult and economically almost insuperably challenging for someone to take siblings, for instance, 3 siblings in that 8, 9, 10 age group. However, if we have these foster homes that we are planning and we have them staffed with foster parents, it will provide a much needed area where sibling groups can be together and grow up together and maintain and have a relationship. And that's just something that's just not out there anywhere now. So it's just a revolutionary idea that I hope we can get the United Methodist Church members of the state of Oklahoma with us on this to help us participate and make it become a reality.
For as long as children must be removed from their biological homes for neglect and abuse, let there be those who answer the call to provide a safety net of security and belonging. As the body of Christ, let our faith communities lead Oklahoma to answer this call. As a Methodist mission with a 100-year history of meeting the needs of abused and neglected children, let Circle of Care assure its legacy of care.